Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning into today's video. If you are new to my channel, my name is Risa and I was a freelance makeup artist for more than 20 years before I began doing YouTube full-time about 8 years ago. And what I'm going to do for you today is give you some rapid-fire reviews of some of the hottest new makeup releases, and then I'm also going to give you some dupes or alternatives that I actually think might be better than some of the new products I tested out. One product I have probably been asked the most to review is, without a doubt, the new Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation. The claims for this foundation are that it has a lightweight, medium to buildable coverage that is supposed to make your skin look like it's filtered. It's supposed to blur all of your imperfections. It also contains 1.5% niacinamide to smooth the look of uneven texture and tone. It also contains silica, which is pore blurring and is what supposedly gives you that airbrushed effect. I purchased the shade Cheesecake and I am wearing it now. I would 100% agree that on skin with large pores and a lot of texture like mine, although my texture, I must say, is improving. But what I was going to say is that if you do have that particular skin type where you find that most medium buildable to full coverage foundations emphasize your texture or feel really heavy on the skin, I do think that you are going to really like this. That said, if you are someone who is used to wearing a tinted moisturizer, you rarely, if ever, wear medium to full coverage foundations, you might find this to be a little bit too heavy, have a little bit too much coverage for your liking, but you may want to consider it for your night out or special event foundation. Now, the packaging isn't anything glamorous or high-end looking, especially when you consider some of the other new foundations that are out there, like the Patrick Ta that was just released. It's not as fancy, but it's also not as expensive. And I like that I can just toss this in my makeup bag or my travel bag, and I don't have to worry about it breaking. I do like a squeeze tube. I feel like it's very easy to control. Don't get me wrong, I do still like a foundation with a pump, but I also have grown to appreciate a squeeze tube, especially since these days, more often than not, I am squeezing foundation into the palm of my hand, and then I am taking a brush and really working the product into my palm before applying it to my face. So this works really, really well for that. I am not someone who condones this. When people go in and apply it right to their faces. I don't know who started that. I don't know why they started it. I don't know why people follow that trend, but I digress. So I've been wearing that foundation for about the last week and I really am enjoying it. It's not oil controlling, and I knew that about the foundation, so I decided to purchase the Easy Blur Primer as well. So when I use the combination of the primer and the foundation, my skin does look pretty darn good. And as I said, I still get shiny. This primer is supposed to control shine, but I don't think it does such a fantastic job at that. I think if you want to use a primer with this foundation, there are better, far less expensive options like this Wet n Wild Impossible Primer. This is also blurring. It also helps to control oil. In my opinion, it does a better job than the Huda. And it's like $7 or $8 depending on where you purchase it. One more thing I do want to point out about this foundation is that when I have been watching other reviews from people with drier skin, their main complaint has been that it feels like makeup on their skin. But then again, I think that really goes back to what you're used to wearing. If you have worn Estee Lauder Double Wear in the past, or maybe a Lancome Tanti Dole, or any other medium to full coverage foundation in the past, I think you're going to be fine with this. I personally do not find it heavy on my skin at all. And as with any foundation that is not necessarily touted as being ultra moisturizing or ultra hydrating or dewy for mature skin, skin prep is going to be important, whether you are oily, combo, dry, very dry. I, having oily skin, use an oil controlling mattifying primer. You, perhaps as someone with drier skin, are really going to want to prep your skin with a good moisturizer, perhaps a hydrating serum, perhaps a hydrating primer. And I think you may like this foundation. All right, next up, I'm super excited to tell you about this blush I'm wearing right now. How stunning is this? It is from the brand Ravi Beauty. And this line was created by the beautiful and talented Allie Glines. You can watch her videos right here on YouTube. She is absolutely amazing and such a sweetheart. And I promise you, I am not just raving about her new blushes because I like her. I am raving about them because they are so, so good and very, very unique. And can we talk about this color? This is the shade Oasis. I used a different brush this morning when I first applied it, only because I didn't even realize that there was a brush in the PR package. But now I'm going to add a little bit more. It's so, so pigmented. So you do have to be sort of careful, especially with this shade, but oh my goodness, I cannot get enough of this blush. And let me tell you a little bit more about why these blushes are so special. But actually, before I do that, let me show you the other two stunning shades. This one is called Daydream, and then this is the shade Paradise. This is the perfect neutral blush shade for when you're doing a more intense eye, like a smoky eye and a nude lip, or perhaps going into the holiday season, you're going to do a red lip, so you want the cheeks to be a little bit more minimalist, but still have a little bit of color to them. This shade Paradise will be your go-to. They retail for $32, or you can purchase the set of 3 for $86. Ooh, and I just saw here on the website that you can purchase the complete set, which is the 3 blushes and the brush, for $98. Now, if that's not currently in your budget, you are going to want to put these on your holiday wish list. Okay, before I move on, I just want to tell you a little bit about the formula. It says here that cream meets powder, and I did watch a video of Allie's where she said that she wanted to take the best aspects of a cream blush and the best aspects of a powder blush and merge them together to come up with this very unique hybrid formula. As you can see, it is a baked blush and the color is richly pigmented, but you can sheer it out by just using a light hand, or you can build up and get very, very bold color that will look beautiful even on darker skin tones. I did not want to purchase the full size of this Anastasia Beverly Hills Volumizing Tinted Brow Gel, and I'm glad I did not purchase the full size. I do not like this at all. It was clumpy. It deposited too much color. As soon as I took it out of the component, just like now, it's got lots of clumps on the end. And now you might be thinking, well, Risa, that's just the fibers. That's the way these types of products are. No. I have been testing out this e.l.f. Brow Wow that costs $5, and it is 100 times better. It fluffs my brows. It gives them definition. It isn't clumpy. It doesn't deposit too much at one time. Anastasia Beverly Hills used to be everything when it came to brows, but lately I have just been sort of unimpressed with their new releases, especially this one. Earlier in the video, I mentioned that my most asked about product to review was the Huda Beauty Easy Blur Foundation. I would say that the second most requested new product my viewers have wanted me to review is the new Makeup by Mario Soft Blur Setting Powder. I picked up the shade 2 Neutral Light. It is very nice. I like it a lot. Do I think it's any better than some of the other setting powders I own that I have raved about, like the Fenty setting powder, the Hourglass powder, even the Wet n Wild Photo Focus powder? I just don't think that it is anything amazing. It definitely did some extra blurring on top of my already blurring foundation. I used it to set my concealer, and it really does look beautiful under there. The one thing it doesn't do is it doesn't control oil. So in my mind, this is very similar to like a loose powder version of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Pressed Powder. I love that powder for its smoothing properties and its ability to brighten up underneath my eyes, but it does not control oily if you have combination to oily skin. This is the same. So if you are looking for a powder that is going to blur but also control oil, I personally would recommend the powder from Jason Wu, and you can get that for around $20 at Target. That said, if you are in the market for a really nice blurring setting powder, you're not looking for oil control, this is a pretty darn good option. Next up are these Laura Mercier Caviar Smoothing Matte Lipsticks. I did receive these in a PR package. Here are some swatches of the shades. I will say that this formula does feel amazing on the lips. What I can't get on board with, and what I think is going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people, is just how intense the fragrance is in these lipsticks. I will never understand that why in 2024 brands are putting so much fragrance into their products, especially one that's coming so close to your nose, right on your upper lip. I personally don't hate the smell, but as we all know, fragrance is such an individual thing. So just because it doesn't bother me doesn't mean that it's not going to bother a lot of other people. I think that Laura Mercier really did themselves a disservice by adding fragrance to this lipstick because they did do such a nice job with the formula. The packaging is quite luxe. It has some weight to it. It does have a nice magnetic closure. I do feel like they smooth and blur my lips. They contain hyaluronic acid that plumps and hydrates. They also contain vitamin E and grapeseed oil. The formula is transfer proof, and it is said to blur the look of fine lines around the mouth. So, all of that said, I encourage you to, at least if you're going to purchase one of these lipsticks, go into it knowing that there is a quite potent fragrance to them. And if you can get past that, you might actually love it. Okay, finishing off with more lip products. Saie Beauty sent over all 5 of their new lip liners and their 3 new shimmer glosses. I personally do not think that 5 shades is enough. I do think that the price point is good. $20 is definitely on the lower end of lip liners that you can purchase from Sephora. They are a wood pencil that's very easy to sharpen. This is actually my preferred type of lip pencil versus anything that's like retractable. They contain shea butter, jojoba seed oil, and meadow foam seed oil. They glide on super easily and have a soft matte finish. I really do like these lip liners a lot. Do I think that they are any different than some other lip liners that I have from the drugstore? Not really. I honestly feel like right now the drugstore has been killing it with lip liners. I have been raving about the $2 e.l.f. lip liners ever since they came out. They are so good. Now, unless you want to buy a high-end lip liner, or in this case, a mid-end lip liner, you can find a lot of really excellent lip liners at the drugstore. I know some of you are lip liner addicts or lip product addicts in general. And to be fair, I am too. So I probably would have purchased these anyway, even if they had not been sent to me. I do really like them. I have been reaching for them quite often if I'm not reaching for one of my e.l.f. lip liners. Here are the 3 new shades of the Saie Glossy Bounce High Shine Hydrating Lip Gloss Oils. They're all absolutely stunning. I really do like this formula a lot. They're very glossy. They don't transfer outside my lip line. The shade Shake is my favorite, and I didn't think it would be. I thought one of the other 2 would be my favorites because, as you can see, they're like totally Risa colors. A rosy pink, a pinky peach, but I have been loving taking this color Shake and putting it over all of my nude lipsticks. Today I put it over my favorite lipstick from Carolina Herrera. that I spoke about in, I think it was a products I've recently been loving video. I can't remember. And I didn't think you could get the Carolina Herrera makeup brand here in the US, but then someone told me that they had it at their local Macy's. So these retail for $22, which I think is pretty on par for a mid-tier brand at Sephora. You know, Say Beauty is not Gucci, it's not Pat McGrath, so $22 for a lip gloss is kind of in line with their other price points. Of course, there are going to be glosses and lip oils at the drugstore that are also very, very good. It comes down to always personal preference. Everyone's budget is different. Sometimes people just like to splurge on mid or high-end makeup, or for some people, that's all they buy. I will try to find a drugstore dupe for this particular shade called Shake, because as of right now, even with my entire stash of high-end, mid-end, and drugstore, I could not find anything that I owned that was quite like this particular nude shimmer shade, that felt this good, that was this shiny, that was this long-lasting. I'm just crazy about this combo. Okay, I think those were pretty rapid as someone as chatty as me can do it. As always, I will have all of the products listed and linked down below in the description box of this video, as well as tagging the products that I can through YouTube Shopping. Those products will appear on the screen. If you did enjoy the video, I really appreciate you giving it a thumbs up, commenting, sharing. That means so much to me. If you aren't already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do post new content at least twice a week. You can also find more content from me over on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. My username is the same on every platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.